Yo, yo. Yo, what up? What's good, Jamal? I added a poll, best R&B album of the 2000s. So I want to see what people say about that. What's your favorite R&B album of the 2000s? Yeah, yo. So we trying this out, this live stream, and see how it go. But at least now you know you can go live on here. It's a lot easier for me on StreamYard though, because you like the interface is different, so you ain't got to deal with this. The whole YouTube interface is kind of confusing for people, so I think StreamYard is easier, and once you get on StreamYard, you can just connect to YouTube anytime you want. So we're just trying this out. I think you can still go live on here even without StreamYard, but like the interface is different, so it might be like kind of confusing compared to like StreamYard, where it's a lot easier. And you can like on StreamYard, you can invite like guests on here. I don't know how to do it on this regular YouTube interface. I don't know if you could do it on here. I know on StreamYard it allows you to like invite like 14 people on at the same time. What's good? What's good, yo? The topic tonight is, well, at least for this live stream, I just wanted to I just dropped the topic of best R&B album of the 2000s, but the topic of tonight, I want to talk about that. If anybody saw the Wilder and Fury fight, because that was crazy, and I hear a lot of people saying that it's already a classic, and I disagree. I don't think you could have three fights in one. It's a lopsided trilogy in my opinion. And I was rooting for Wilder too, and I just feel like Wilder just disappointed me. And you had the media asking Fury that is he gonna give Wilder a fourth fight, and is he on the same level as Ali? I'm like, off of a lopsided trilogy, you can't put him in the with the greats like Tyson and Ali. I mean, at least for me, I don't think he's even near that discussion. You know, confessions. You want to do confessions? What we confessing? That's a hot topic that you might have to do. You might have to do on YouTube. If we talking about confessions and confessing things, I don't know if IG ready for that one. Uh, Fury, I could have sworn maybe I forgot. I could have sworn Wilder won the first fight because I thought that was the whole reason for them to set up the second one. Like when Fury beat him in the second one, he took his titles or whatever, and then the third one he just watched him. But um, I don't think Wilder to me just he didn't deserve a rematch so quickly though. From the second one when he got washed, and I felt like yo he needs to fire his trainer and his cut team because they wasn't good. And my like looking at that second fight, I was like, yo, like he was terrible. And I thought what he should have did was go back to the drawing board and at least fight have a tune-up fight in that division, like against Andy Ruiz Jr. or Chisora. So one of those cats in that division. The division is terrible. It's only Fury and Wilder that's the two best ones in that division. And now he dropped from number 2 to number 4 ranking. Supposedly he's dropped to number 4. You got Joshua ahead of him, and Joshua's not good. Joshua lost his last fight, and he's ahead of Wilder, and I don't understand that one. And Joshua been ducking him since Wilder was a champion. He needs to fight Joshua, and then fight the Polish cat, Alexander, whatever his name is, because those two are in front of him. And if he could fight those two and then win, then I think he has to prove to Fury and to Bob Abram that he's deserving of a fourth fight with Fury. Because right now Fury don't need to fight him again. Like he already said, like this is it. He don't need to fight him again. But I think Wilder got to prove to himself and to Fury and to the boxing commission that he's worthy of a fourth fight, and then hopefully get that last fight with Fury and beat Fury with a knockout. He can't beat him with a no decision or something, because then it's gonna be like, yo, you won, but there's an asterisk next to your name. You know what I'm saying? So if he even get that fight again with Fury, he got to beat Fury with a knockout for him to solidify his legacy. That's how I would do it. You don't demand a rematch, but a lot of people feel like he's not going to do it. But for me, I feel like he needs like at least 2 convincing fights in that division to make Fury be like, okay, I'm gonna give him one last fight. That's how he got to go about it. And he have too much ego and pride that he might not even do that, because he didn't even stay for the post conference and all that. Like he left right after the fight was over. So, but he has to decide what he wants. Are you just doing it for the money, or you want your legacy to be right up there with the greats? And if he wants that, then he gotta fight Joshua, because people have been wanting to see that, and that never happened. He gotta fight Joshua. Joshua been ducking him. That would be a good fight. You beat Joshua, and then you set up that fight with Alexander and beat him, and then force boxing to make that fourth fight with you and Fury a mandatory title match. Because if they make it mandatory, then Fury gotta fight him again. And hope by that time that Fury is still champion. Because that's the dude that you want. That's the big dog. That's the one that beat you twice. You want to be able to go back and beat him for the titles. Because I think if you do that, then that'll solidify his legacy, and then he can retire. But I don't know. I don't know how. That's how I would do it. I don't know how what he's thinking or whatever. I don't think Fury would beat Mike Tyson, and I think that's why he didn't like the way that I saw the post conference and the media was asking him about that, and he's like he's the best fighter for his era. You're not putting yourself out there with Tyson and with Lennox Lewis and Holyfield, because he feel like it's an unfair question to even ask that, like, because he wasn't around for that era. So he feel like he's the best fighter for his era. But I don't think he would be able to beat Tyson. I think Tyson definitely not. That fight wouldn't last round 7, round 8. I think Tyson would have destroyed him way before that. You know, I mean, Tyson was The thing with Tyson was like he would go for the knockout, but when he went for the knockout, he wasn't missing. Like Wilder was going for the knockout, but he was throwing a bunch of haymakers that he was missing, and he wasn't landing like half of his punches. He wasn't landing compared to Fury, and Fury was outboxing him. He's a great. He was jabbing, and that's just whatever his trainers told him to do in the corner. That's what he was doing. His trainers told him to keep jabbing because they knew that Wilder was not going to throw no punches like that. He's not a jabber. He's going for haymakers. He's going for the knockout, and he was missing. Tyson didn't do that. Like once Tyson, had his target, he hit it, and that was it. He was out. Like he wasn't missing a whole bunch of crazy haymakers and stuff. So I don't even think he would last like 6 rounds with Tyson. You know, but Tyson was great for the short amount of time that he was boxing. He was great. Like he set his legacy at an early time before the prison stuff. But I don't think Tyson Fury would even last 6 rounds with Mike Tyson. I think that's why I think Tyson gave him that name too. That whole Tyson Fury thing. I think they said Tyson gave him that name. Yeah, and he was on the, again, like he was precise. It was like he didn't throw a lot of jabs because he was always set on the knockout. But when he made the knockout, he was not missing. He was not missing. You know what I'm saying? It was up. He made his opponent have to switch up their game plan once they were in the ring with him. Like they had to be you were either a good you were either a good defender or you wasn't. Because once he hit you, it was that was it. Like he wasn't getting back up. You know what I'm saying? And for his fighting style, it worked for him. But even with him, he could have been a good, technical boxer too. But he was just aiming. He was just all about the knockout. You know what I'm saying? So he was just a freak of his time. He was different. There was nobody like Tyson. You know what I'm saying? And Wilder is not Tyson. He can't do that. That's why he needs a new trainer. He needs to hire Freddie Roach as his trainer because Freddie Roach will make him more of a better boxer. Whereas where he's not looking because not all fights you're going to win off of knockouts. You're going to win fights where it might be a no decision or you might need to out jab your opponent. And Wilder don't know how to do that. He's all about the knockout and he uses power. That's how he uses power to win the titles. But up against Fury, you see the difference. Like Fury can knock you out, and he's a good jabber, and he was doing everything in those fights, and Wilder didn't do that. You know, so it's like if you look at Mayweather, like Mayweather has the power to knock people out. He just don't do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like he's done. I think the last knockout I've seen him do was Ricky Hatton. Like when he went over to Ricky Hatton area and knocked him out in his own country. You know what I'm saying? Mayweather won on a lot of. He's a great blocker and he knows how to jab, and that's how he won a lot of his matches without a knockout. And you know what I'm saying? That's the blueprint that Wilder needs to look at. Like yo, like maybe I don't need to win every match off of a knockout. You know what I'm saying? Is it true he turned down? I didn't even hear about that. If he did, he's done. He's stupid because he could use Mayweather. Mayweather needs to be a trainer because he would be great at it. I didn't even hear about that. But he needs, like I said, Freddie Roach because Freddie Roach is Pacquiao's trainer. Pacquiao just retired, so he could use Mayweather or Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't even hear about that. But like Mayweather is a prime example. Like he's never been defeated, and he didn't win all his matches off of knockouts. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Wilder has to change his fighting style. He has to. change it up to the point where he's not thinking a knockout first. But that's like if you have like a baseball team full of home run hitters, all they thinking about is getting to the plate and hitting the grand slam. Sometimes you might need that RBI base hit to win a game. You might not need the big home run, and that was the difference to me clearly in the second fight, but because not only did Fury wash him, but he outboxed him, and he did that again in the last fight on Saturday. And I didn't see they kept saying that Wilder his he switched his the game plan was different. I didn't see anything different. I saw the same thing the minute that he got he got hit by the big blow from Fury. He wasn't the same. He was dazed, and that's the same look that he had in the second fight. He was dazed and he could not get his bearings again. Like his equilibrium was totally off in the second fight, and it happened again when he got hit. And he stayed up longer in this fight, but once he got hit, he wasn't the same. And he was fighting the whole match to stay up and not get knocked down, and it was just terrible. And I blame that on his trainers, and his cut staff was bad. When he went back to the corner, they didn't give him the smelling salts or anything. It's like they didn't even throw water on his head like that. Like they just give him like some Vaseline to cover his bruises, and his trainer's telling him the same thing, and he's not telling him like, yo, mate, you need to jab him to the body more. He wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? And everything when they go to Fury's corner, everything his trainer told him he was doing, and that's why he won the fight. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like his trainers, Wilder's trainers need to go, and his cut team wasn't good. Like they didn't do the necessary things that they needed to wake him up in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like he was still dazed, and round 6, 5, 6 come on, and he's still like out of it. You know what I'm saying? And you can look at it in his face. I'm like, yo, this dude is going to lose this match because he never really got his feet under him again after that. I was picking Wilder too. I really thought he was gonna bounce back from the second loss because he like he talked all this crap from the second fight to now, and then you lose back to back. You can't talk no more crap about him. He got to give Fury his respect now, and that's why he left. That's why he didn't stay after the match was over, because he knew that Fury was the better fighter, and he wasn't giving Fury that his respect. And Fury even said that in the ring. He was like, "Yo, like he showed all love for Wilder, and Wilder wasn't man enough to give him that respect back." So at this point, it's like, why would Fury even want to give you a fourth match when you didn't even give him that respect in the ring? Like you left the ring after you lost the match. You know what I'm saying? Fury don't need to give him another match. He already proved to people that he could beat him. It's up to Wilder now to make up his mind and really be humble and figure out what it is that he want to do. Does he want a legacy that's gonna last forever? Because if that's the case, then he gonna have to fight Joshua and fight the Polish cat, and then convince the boxing committee and Fury that you're worthy of a fourth match. If he wants to be a legend, if you want to be up there in the rafters with Ali and Tyson and Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, that's how he got to go about it. I don't know what his training staff is telling him, but they're not telling him what he needs to hear. He needs that's how he needs to go about it. Do not demand a rematch if you take some tune-up fight and be like, oh, I'm ready to fight Fury again. I don't feel like he was ready even from the second fight. Yeah, I said after he got washed like that, I'm like, yo, he got to regroup and take one or two tune-up fights, and then you demand a rematch. You don't just lose and the way that he lost in the second match, and then already you want a rematch with Fury. I just feel like he was rushing it. And again, if that's part of his ego, then he's not gonna be memorable. He's just we're just gonna be talking about him like, yo, you remember when Wilder got washed twice by Fury? That's how people gonna remember his legacy. So if he wants to truly be remembered as a legend, he's gonna have to fight Joshua and he's gonna have to fight the Polish cat because he already dropped the four. You know what I'm saying? When they showed the ranking in the heavyweight division, he dropped from second to fourth. And he got Joshua ahead of him, and Joshua not even better than him. Joshua lost his last match, and he's already ahead of Wilder. So, you know what I'm saying? If I was him, and Fury know, and everyone else know that Wilder is better than everybody else in that division. You know what I'm saying? When Fury was in the ring, and he was like, yo, like, he had respect for Wilder, and he's like, he's a good boxer, but he'll always be number two to him. You know what I'm saying? So everybody know, but even boxing know, they know that the heavyweight division is crap. You know what I'm saying? Fury, I don't even look at Fury like he's a great boxer because he's been beat before. I've seen him been on the canvas before. You know what I'm saying? He's beatable, but he's at his best when he's against Wilder. Everybody else, just like Wilder, they can beat in that division. So Wilder, since Joshua been ducking him even when he was champion, Wilder needs to fight Joshua next. Whether he got to go to the UK to fight him or Joshua come here. Either way, I think the fans want to see that fight. He needs to fight Joshua next and then fight the Polish cat. And then you have to convince, and he has to knock both of them out and convince boxing and Fury that, yo, I won a fourth match. This is for everything. And after this, I'm going to retire. That's how he used to be. He has to do it. Because at this point, Fury don't need to fight him anymore. Like if Fury, retire, he retiring on top. Or he could take some, a lesser match for the money or whatever. He don't need to fight Wilder again. He already proved his point. But Wilder, it's up to Wilder now to humble himself and convince Fury in boxing that he's worthy of one more match with Fury. Because nobody, I don't think a lot of people want to see a fourth match with them unless they want to see Wilder get his ass beat again like that. I don't care to watch another match with them unless he convincingly proved that he's ready to. I don't think he's ready right now to fight Fury. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we'll go about it. I don't know what his trainers are telling him, but anything less than a fourth match with Fury to me would be just for the money. Like people not gonna care because he already got his ass beat so many like twice and it was bad. You know, that's my whole take on it. But Mayweather definitely. I wish Mayweather did step in and become his trainer because Mayweather definitely would make him a totally different boxer. You know what I'm saying? Totally different boxer. If Mayweather or Freddie Roach, any one of them. Even Fury's trainer, because Fury's trainer is the nephew of what's his name? The cat the guy that passed away. Um he was a famous trainer also. But any one of them would be better for Wilder. I had Wilder winning. I really did. I didn't care for Fury. I still feel like Wilder could beat Fury. I don't feel like Fury is untouchable because I've seen Fury lose before. Like he's gotten knocked out in the past. I think people forgot that once he started this trilogy with Wilder, but Fury can be beat. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he was always great like that. Like he was really bad in the beginning, and then he worked his way to becoming better. You know what I'm saying? And he was depressed and he had like troubles in his family and stuff, and he got over that, and he had to work his way to becoming a champion now. But he's beatable. Wilder to me can beat him, but Wilder has to switch up his game plan, and he can't go for the knockout all the time. And that's what he's going for. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what happened because in the fight, at least in the first two rounds, he looked different. He looked like he was the aggressor and he was going for Fury. You know what I'm saying? Like he was being aggressive and he was throwing the jabs. And somewhere along the way, he said, "To hell with that! I'm going for the knockout." and he got overzealous, and that's what happened. And Fury ended up taking advantage, even though he got, he knocked down Fury twice. He still got back up though. And once Fury hit him, that was it. The same way that he hit him is the same way he hit him in the second match, and he lost his balance. Like he was like trying to stay up the whole fight. And Fury, they say Wilder punches are hard, but Fury, to me, his punches are harder because Wilder was not the same ever again. And that's because he wasn't throwing the jabs. He wasn't going to his body. I'm like, yo, you see Wilder's physique. You see he has a six pack. He's in great shape compared to Fury. Fury have like a whole bunch of flab on him. I'm like, why are you not taking advantage of that? Why are you not throwing body shots, or rib shots? And you know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. I'm like, that's why I say his trainers don't know what they're doing. Because I would have been zeroed in. Like if that was Tyson. Tyson would have knocked Fury out with a body shot. He wouldn't have been able to get back up. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't doing that. He wasn't attacking Fury's body. I'm like, yo, you see all that flab compared to your six pack? That's what you need to be going after. Go to the body more, and then if you see an opening up top, you go up top. He wasn't doing that. And he wasn't throwing the jab. And Fury was doing that, and that's why he won. Even if Fury didn't knock him out, I think Fury would have won still on his jabs because he landed like 100 and something punches more than I think Wilder landed like 38 or something like that. It was a crazy number. I'm like, he's statistically the judges would have looked at the numbers and it would be like, yo, we giving this to Fury. So Fury would have won anyway. That's what he did in the second fight. You know what I'm saying? He got hit. Once he got hit, he was never the same. It felt like I was watching the second fight. I'm like, yo, this is the same thing that I was seeing in the second fight. Once he got hit, he lost his balance and he was trying to stay up the whole fight. And even when he knocked down Fury twice in the match, he was still wobbly. Like you can see it in his face, like he was still dazed. I'm like, yo, where is like why are you all not using smelling salts on this cat? Wake him up. Throw water on his head, ice, all that stuff to wake him up and be like, yo, like this is for everything again. This is what you wanted. You wanted this rematch. You got your rematch. You know what I'm saying? It's time for you to go out there and finish Cat. They didn't tell him that. And everything that Fury told him in his corner, his trainer told him, like, yo, keep jabbing him, because he's not gonna throw no, he's only gonna throw these haymakers to try to knock you out. And that's what happened. That's exactly whatever his trainer told him is exactly what Fury did, and that's why he won. Because his trainer already seen it. They knew what Wilder was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, like they went by the same game plan and they executed it well. And Wilder did not do that. And I don't know, they said like he changed his nutritionist, and he was fighting differently. I'm like, I don't know what he was doing because it looked like the same Wilder out there from the second fight. The only difference is a lot of people gave him his respect now because he stayed up longer. But he still lost the fight. It was 5 knockdowns, and he had 3 of them. So y'all giving your respect him because of he stayed up, you know what I'm saying, like twice, and the final knockdown he couldn't get back up, or the referee stopped the fight because he realized how bad he was taking a beating. It was still the same thing. It's like he didn't win the fight. You give him a respect because he got knocked down and he came back up. He still lost. You know. So I'm like, nah, man. He, no, I don't think anybody want to see that fight again. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be if we already saw 2 back-to-back fights where he got his ass beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would people want to see a 4th fight with him? He had to be totally different. He got to convince people that he ready. I don't think he's ready. I didn't think he was ready from the second knock from fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even hyped for boxing anymore. That's like, to me, like that was like the biggest fight that I saw this year when it came to boxing, because any all these other fights I wasn't hyped for. Even there's another fight coming up with Bud Crawford and Sean Porter. I'm not even hyped for that fight because I still feel like Crawford is unbeatable. Like Porter not gonna beat him. You know what I'm saying? But this was the one fight where I was like, yo, this is a main event fight that I'm excited for. And it was another, even though Wilder got back up twice and he didn't get washed like he did in the second one, but it was still a letdown because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. He went back to his old ways. And I didn't see a change in his fighting style. And I thought I would after the second fight. And he went back to his old ways and he got destroyed again. And then he left. He didn't even give Fury his props. He just left after the match because he was talking all this shit during the press conference and he didn't live up to what he was gonna do. So yeah, that man ego is hurt times 10 now because not only did you get washed in the second fight, you came back, you demanded a rematch, and you still lost after talking all this crap during the press conference and everything. So his ego is hurt right now. And that's another thing. Fury brought that up that he felt like Wilder put on too much weight just for this fight. And that could be it too. You know what I'm saying? But maybe the added weight is what kept him to get off the mat twice in the match. Compared to the second fight, he didn't get up at all. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Even if he put on some weight and Fury was like 40 pounds still heavier than him. So, you know, he is still, even with the added weight, he's still more fit for, physique wise than Fury. And if you played Mike Tyson Punch Out back in the day, when you have to fight King Hippo, the way to beat King Hippo, you have to fight his stomach. When he had like that little bandage in the middle of his stomach, that's what you have to aim for. That would take him out. Not try to knock him out up top. You have to beat King Hippo with body shots. That's how I look at Tyson Fury. He's King Hippo. He has no muscle on top. It's all 280 pounds or whatever he weighed. That's coming down on you. When you look at Deontay Wilder's physique compared to Fury is like King Hippo. All Wilder had to do was focus on the body and go after the body shots, because that's what Holyfield would have did. That's what Tyson would have did. Lennox Lewis, you go after the body. He just was throwing these haymakers, trying to knock him out. He wasn't gonna win like that. At least if he was jabbing, if he had as many jabs as Tyson Fury had, and they said, "Yo, at the end of the match, it's gonna be a draw," that would have guaranteed him a fourth match. You know what I'm saying? Or if he won off of like a split decision or something like that, at least you could be like, "Yo, okay, I ain't knock him out, but I got the decision from the judges." But he didn't do none of that. He went right back to his old ways in the second fight, and that's how he lost. And Fury stuck to his game plan, and that's why he won. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't be a boxer and he's one dimensional. Like that's what he showed in the second fight. It's like he just going for the knockout. He not a technical fighter like that. I don't see it. Like if he was, then he's not doing it no more. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to have more than one weapon in your arsenal. And right now, he's one dimensional. He's just going for the knockout, and because he's so tall and powerful, that's how he was able to win against everybody else. But Fury's that one guy in that division that he can't beat because he is one dimensional against him. Whereas Fury is just as tall as him, and he uses his body, and he can out jab you. Wilder got to totally switch up his whole game plan against Fury. He can't do that again. It's one thing you do that against Joshua, or you do that against Stavern or whatever, or anybody else in that division. Fury can jab. He's not one dimensional. He already proved that. You know what I'm saying? So that is like I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing something that Wilder's team ain't seeing. I don't, or he just refused to do it. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna beat everybody just off of pure power. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be those fights where you're gonna have to get down and dirty, and switch it up and be like yo, I could do this too. You didn't know I got the jab. You didn't know I could aim for the body and all that. He wasn't doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Mayweather is a prime example of that because he did that in half of his fights. He wasn't going for the knockout. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't going for the knockout. Half of his fights he was doing that. That's why people felt like at some point his fights became boring. Like when he fought Maidana twice, and people was like, "Oh, Maidana got the power to knock him out," but he had Maidana on the ropes. Like, and I don't mean like on the ropes where he was ready to knock him out, but he had him fighting his style of fighting. Same thing with Robert Guerrero. All of these other fighters that they thought, oh, they're gonna knock out Mayweather. Mayweather was like, yo, I'm gonna make you fight in my style of boxing. You know what I'm saying? And Wilder can't do that right now. If Fury wanted to make him fight his style of boxing, he can't out jab Fury. Fury would have won that whole fight off of just the jabs alone. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said like, yo, like he need a new trainer because his trainers are not teaching him. They're not teaching him what he needs to know, and it might be too late because he's already like what 34, 35. It might be too late for him at this point. Would you want to see a new fight night game? Definitely. I got fight night. I think round three, the one with De La Hoya on the cover. I got that one for Xbox 360, and I love fight night. That was a great game. Knockout Kings was good too. I Knockout Kings in the 2000s for PlayStation. But yeah, I definitely would like to they need to do over fight night for the next gen systems right now. Definitely would like to see that. Put all the new fighters in it, and Earl Spence and Crawford, you know Wilder, Fury, put all of them in that game. We haven't had a boxing game in years, yo. Like it's time already. They need a new one. You know, definitely would like to see that. That's when boxing was good too. You know, shit. I've been ranting about boxing for like 44 minutes already. I feel like I'm part of ESPN or something. We gotta definitely do more of these live streams on here and get like the whole that's the whole support from the fan base on here. You know, that's gonna be fun. You still in here, Jamal? I'm gonna end the live stream. Um, I think we'll be able to play back. So if people want to look back at this live stream and hear my rants on the Wilder and Fury fight, they could do that. And I'm just testing this out to see if it was gonna work, and it's working right now. So you got that one too? Yeah, yo, I haven't played that in years. Like I just have it on my table. It's been there for years, yo. I haven't touched it. 'Cause I got Xbox One, but I don't even know if it's capable of playing on Xbox. Because a lot of the games on Xbox One, I mean, a lot of the games from Xbox 360, they can't play on Xbox One, or not yet at least. Like they didn't make some of them, they didn't make them compatible yet, like backwards compatible. So I haven't even checked it out to test it to see if it can play on it. You know, I gotta try it out and see if we can play. You know, definitely got to discuss some games, man. I'm a gamer too. I love playing different games and systems and stuff. So you know what I mean. That would be fun. Yeah, I'll come on. I don't have a problem coming on here at all, man. Anytime y'all want to go live, I'm down with it. You know what I mean? You know, go live and just chop it up and talk about anything, man. You know, but I said like, yo, like the live stream is working. Everybody should be able to go live now on here. Like I said, like it's easier for me at least to use it on StreamYard, but you can do it on here as well. Like, it's very easy. And I posted the poll, best R&B album of the 2000s. That was the poll of the day. You know, but I'm a log off of here, and I'm assuming the live is gonna save. 'Cause I know there was an option to save it or not save it. So I'm assuming it's gonna save and people could watch the playback. So I'm gonna log off of here. This is 80s, 90s, 2000s vibes. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram. Got a lot more great stuff coming. I got a video I'm dropping either later tonight or tomorrow. A Candyman movie review on the latest Candyman installment. It's not saved. I know there was an option before I came on live that you can save it or not. But like I said, like on StreamYard, you can save it like instantly. So maybe it's different for the YouTube interface. I don't know. 'Cause I never went live really on this YouTube interface. I've always done things on StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's a little bit different on here. It should be able to save though. You know. Let me see. Yeah, it says chat replay and everything. You know what I mean? So it should be able to save. But yeah, like you know, subscribe to my channel at that Danny Rap Podcast on YouTube. And we got a lot more great stuff coming on this channel, and we're gonna build this channel up in the fan base, and get the subs up. Follow this channel, subscribe, like, comment, share, and we're definitely gonna be back on here. If you don't see me, you're gonna see somebody else from the crew on here, and we're just gonna build this channel. So stay tuned. All right, I'm logging out. Peace.